Hello. So, I am testing a varnish. Well, I tested it earlier, and this is a raw piece of wood, and it came out pretty beautiful. And I had stained with my vinegar and steel wool solution this piece of wood, and then varnished over it. And as you can see, it's just a little darker, which is kind of nice. And so I thought I would try out staining some of my more dramatic pieces, like this one and this one, which is nearly pitch black, and just some of the wilder pieces, just the real crazy stuff, including this beauty. And I want to see what happens when the stain hits these. I think using the stain on everything, even the dramatic stuff, might give overall consistency a chance. And I can still use the stain to create variations, but there will be an overall cohesiveness to the set, which is something that I think ultimately I was going to be lacking in the end. The collective chaos was something that would have been nice. But I think I'm going to get more pleasure out of the cohesiveness and the warm tones that I'm going to be getting from the stain. So let's dive in. Now, the stain goes on pretty nicely, and it only needs to be on there for just a little bit, and then we wipe it off. So we're going to lay the stain, even coat. It goes on fairly dark, so any of the light spots that don't get soaked, we can easily see. And once that's down, we can move on to the next piece quickly. Everything has to be done very quickly. Now this piece is the raw underside, so it does take a little more time and attention because it's rough. And a little dabbing here is going to be useful, especially in the rougher sections. We get in there and it's good. I'm even going to do these under grooves because this is one of those undersides. Those undergrooves are going to show once we install that piece. Moving on. Now when we start running out of stain, that's okay. We can pull it from that first board because eventually we are going to be wiping this off. So if we pull from the first board, that's just going to help our process anyways. We can go back to where we left off. Now we have a little more to work with. We can keep going. Keep going. We are running low on stain. I do want to see if I can get through this whole thing without re-dipping. Not that we don't have enough, but I think there's enough in the brush for us to finish. And I'm right. So last piece. This last piece I pre-oiled, so the stain is going on a little different than everything else. It is not really dipping in, it's more becoming a top coat. So we're going to see what happens once we wipe it off. Maybe nothing, we'll see. Okay, so everything's been applied, everything looks like it's soaked in pretty good, and now it's time to rub the stain off of these. I'm just using a basic rag, let's pull that off. Remember, these were really dark pieces. Okay, pretty good. This was that super dark piece, and it is coming out like glass, glossy, a little onyx like. Just that's real nice. This piece, because it's super rough, it's going to drag at our cloth a bit. We need to get into those grooves. This, I think, is going to require a little bit of sanding, which is going to expose some raw wood. That might look nice. So we get in there. That's still super dark, but I like the quality of it. It kind of looks like a wet forest, which is exactly what we're going for in that closet wood wall section. Let's keep going. Stain is starting to dry on some of these later pieces, so we got to make sure that we move fast and not do too many pieces at once. So keep going, keep going. I mean, these are coming out absolutely gorgeous. Keep going. Here we are, coming to the end. Again, this was probably sitting a little too long. Maybe do a fewer collection of pieces next time so that we can wipe off quicker. And this last one did take some coloring. I think there's just too much going on in this, kind of like overdoing a project. It's just real busy, but when it's going to be among a set, I think it'll be fine. So let's take a look at, this is the raw wood with the stain. That's the coloring. And these are some of our darker pieces next to it. And I think we're gonna have a lovely variety. And this is that dark piece next to it. And there is cohesion here. They are coming out nice and glossy. Even this backside piece, lots of cohesion. So I'm going to pick this up and we're going to take a look at what we're dealing with on a whole. That's that white piece, and here's the whole set. Even this here. So yeah, that's what we got going on.